Fuck, what was I going to say?
Yeah.
Cut that. Rewind. Welcome to the Heresy halftime show here at the Bull's basement. I'm Ryan. This is Dan, and of course,
I'm Manji.
And today we're going to be talking to you guys about all of our 2023 resolutions and our high hopes for Horus Heresy in the coming year. So guys, what do you guys see coming for 2023 with Horus Heresy? What are your resolutions, your hopes and dreams for this intrepid hobby, and what are your expectations?
I guess I'm starting.
You go first.
You can start.
I'll go, sure.
Popcorn. Manji.
So, I'm definitely going to Adepticon next year. The Heresy events at Adepticon look like they're going to be a total blast. I actually asked earlier this year how people felt about fighting the all-tank Rite of War. So I am building Armored Spearhead to run at Adepticon next year in one of the events. So
You're a monster.
3 Land Raiders, 2 Kratos, 4 Predators, there's a couple of Sakarans in there, Ultramarines.
Of course.
I wanted an excuse to buy a bunch of tanks and paint them blue.
Excuse achieved.
Excuse achieved. As I was reading through, because I was debating other legions, but then I realized the way that vehicle squadrons work with reaction fire, and I went, oh, hell yeah, and had to go with Ultramarines after I realized that, in fact, Kratos and Predators can fire Overwatch at the same time.
Wait. So if you have like an ROW that gives you if you have a Rite of War that gives you some if you have a Legion advanced reaction that gives you like an auto charge that applies to a tank.
So if you have, the Ultramarine advanced reaction is when you're returning fire, you return fire with any 2 Ultramarines units. Tanks, infantry, characters, whatever.
Yeah, it's real dumb.
And the way that it works is that it works on units, like tank squadrons. So instead of 1 tank firing, it is every tank in the squadron.
6 tanks.
That's real dirty.
So you load those tanks up with like Volkite and heavy bolters, and
How can you complain about them not having special units? They have that rule.
Do they really need special units?
Yeah, do you need a special unit?
Yes, they do. They need special tanks.
Yeah, because if I had the Fulminaris Terminators, I could launch that many crack missiles at you as a reaction.
So I'll be doing up about 3,000 points of that. Taking the chance to add to my Invictaris Suzerain squads, model some new characters. I've got some Mark IV Marines. I'm going to put the chain bayonets I have left over from the box on because I need some melee, and tactical squads with chain bayonets are some melee. So
they are some melee. They're not no melee.
I'm really stoked about that. And then I've got another lot of Marines, and I want to do a Traitor Legion. I was going to go Sons of Horus Drop Pod Assault, but then I looked at the drop pods I would have to get and reconsidered that plan.
It's so many.
It's actually not the amount. It's the amount of Charybdis and Dreadclaws.
Arguably the worst models ever to put together and assemble.
Yeah, so it turns out if you want to run 20 guys in a drop pod, you're buying a Charybdis. So
they can't be that bad. Like and subscribe.
Does a Mastodon count for troop transport in an armored spearhead?
No. Maybe.
It is not a dedicated transport, but the rule for armored spearhead is that infantry have to start in a vehicle.
And they can't do that if it's not dedicated.
No, they can't.
They can't.
Yeah. So you could definitely
See, now that's the armored spearhead you should rock, man.
But then you can't take 50 Predator tanks.
You still can't because the Predator tanks are your troops.
They're not compulsory.
Right.
They're not.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not compulsory, and they don't. I'm sorry, they do count as compulsory. They don't have line.
So here we go. Manji needs some suggestions on Traitor Legions to run. If you have thoughts or opinions, comment in the comment section below and tell Manji what he should be running.
Please put in the comments.
Right after you like and subscribe this, roll down a little bit more.
We'll paint them on the shows next year. We'll do progress updates and talk about them and stuff. But if there's an army you want to see done or see someone do up, I am ambivalent on traders right now. I have world eaters, so I'd prefer not more world eaters. That's the only proviso I'll put on.
What's the hardest one to paint?
Thousand Suns or Alpha Legion?
No, I would say
Night Lords, because you get the lightning.
The lighting's easy,
I would
though.
say Sons of Horus are
far as
probably
I'm-
the hardest.
Okay.
Really?
Really?
The green,
That green is hard?
yeah.
It comes in a bottle now. Like,
I was going to say, an airbrush is real good.
You can
make fast, much green.
you can do like
Done.
like the Sons of Horus green and Lubrical green, but if you want to do like the bright teal that like the first edition Sons of Horus had, like no, that's all like layers and mixes. I think they're also the amount of details like the Justarin, the Reavers, like they have a lot of characters.
I don't know. If
I
you're
mean, you're
talking
not
about
wrong.
like overly traders, traders, like avoid Thousand Suns and avoid Emperor's Children.
I would say good Thousand Suns are very difficult as well. Like the real like, there's a guy locally. His name is Nate, who has this like candy apple
The
red.
candy with the
I've
Tamiya
seen
red.
it. Yeah, it's really good.
It's layers of like lacquers and Tamiya clear red, and it looks phenomenal. I cannot imagine how much time it takes.
The army that will take years off your life with all that enamel thinner.
Yeah. I would say like Thousand Suns are definitely tricky. Night Lords. I've got a lot of experience with Blue Space Marines. I'm not intimidated by Blue Space Marines. There is no amount of Night Lords that scare me. And
I just think they're difficult because you have all that freehand lightning and stuff all around.
there's a lot of really good tutorials on that. It's
It's just time consuming because it's all brushwork.
yeah, but
But it's like, that's why I was getting at, it's like one brush, two brush. Like, I mean, as long as you're...
3-brush horse brush.
No, sable brush.
you do like a medium layer with like an off white, and you sketch out kind of the pattern, and you go in with like a small brush. You do your pure white inside, and you're good to go.
Okay.
You could do a lot of cool
You
stuff.
called me on my shit. That's fine.
No, that's what I was saying. Like, even I'm not a freehand applique painter, and I can imagine figuring out how to do that one relatively easy.
There's a lot of really good tutorials on YouTube. I think the Painting Coach channel has a good tutorial on it. Yeah, I'm there's no Legion I'm like super worried about. I think Sons of Horus would be the hardest.
So what about doing a traitor loyalist faction?
I'd be open to that.
Like Dark Angels.
Well, that's how they come.
But no, they're the first.
they
They're the
come as
most.
traitors.
They're the most loyal. The ones that they left back on that home planet were
Yeah,
the ones that came out with their own designs.
Buy a Dark Angels unit and boom, it's traitor. I don't have to do anything.
Is convenient, isn't it? That's why they're
Yeah, I
the
mean,
first
it would be
and
cool
the
to
best.
like. I don't think Luther has a model yet. I think he'd be a cool conversion. I saw one on Reddit the other day that looked really good.
Trader only.
But yeah, Trader Loyalists definitely open for those. I think those are some really cool modeling opportunities, and they have some great warlord traits.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's 2 armies, one of which is going to be blue Ultramarine tanks that'll be at Adepticon.
Nice.
You know what? Throwing it out there just for spice. But if I know I'm, by the way, well, we'll get to mine in a minute. But Death Guard. Now, Death Guard lets
How
you.
about the Death Guard?
Now, just to throw it out there because it's fun. But the Death Guard you could take just for spice and flair. But they're one of the only armies I think of that can put a special weapon on a Predator. Because if you take the Flame Strike cannon on a Predator, you can, for no points, Alchem upgrade it. Which is completely useless because it gives you armor bane on something that's already like strength 6 or whatever.
As somebody who's talked
Or
to
Flesh
Manji
Bane.
frequently about whatever he's going to paint, he absolutely will not paint a Death Guard army.
Really?
He hates them. You hate them.
The 2 legions I definitely hate are Death Guard and Alpha Legion.
Okay.
What's the hate from the Death Guard about?
They're boring. They're like the spackle in the wall. They're like what if you took Iron Warriors but made them less interesting? I have like 0 narrative attachment to Death Guard.
Kurt Schraub already did that to Iron Warriors.
Garrow is the coolest like Death Guard character in the books. He's also the only one that gets books.
It's true. That of the Eisenstein.
I thought Typhus had a book. Lord of Contagion isn't a book. or not Lord of Contagion. What did Typhus be? Yeah.
The Typhus is in a couple short stories, but like he fucks off immediately after Istvan and does not show up again till the Buried Dagger.
Okay, so where, because you're the lore guru, at what point does Typhus sell his, when does he sell out to Nurgle and then Mortarion has to just agree to it?
He's stuck in the warp or whatever. Like on the ship.
So the warp thing where they come out as Plague Marines, that's the Buried Dagger.
That's the Buried Dagger.
Happens.
Okay.
Typhus is a follower of Nurgle by like Galaxy in Flames. Like it's explicit in one of the short story collections where Typhus and Luther do a thing, and Luther figures out what's going on and goes, "Oh shit, this is really fucked up. What's happening with the traitor legions?"
Oh, so then he goes back to Caliban and cooks up his own, eh?
Well, I mean, they were already trading because they like resupply the Death Guard and stuff. But yeah, like Death Guard just don't have much that's built in that's like cool to me. And I've already painted like a cream white army when I did my World Eaters last year, or this year, Jesus.
Do you track years by what armies you paint like I do?
Since 2018, I have.
Nice. Ouch.
The 2020 definitely messed up with time tracking, but the
grumble.
Yeah, for me, it's like Death Guard just don't have a lot of cool characters or stories, and their unit selection is like real bland to me. It's like, here's your 2 Terminator units.
Well, counterpoint.
That's kind of it.
Counterpoint. Their army-wide rule makes it to where, as long as you're normal moving, all of your predators suffer no penalties or anything.
Oh, sure. I mean, I'm not saying like
for a rule standpoint, they're pretty cool. But what he's saying is he just
I get it.
The color,
the aesthetic
the flavor,
is lame.
The lore.
I'm just throwing it out there for anybody thinking about
now,
it.
if you like Death Guard, enjoy Death Guard. Be a Death Guard enjoyer. You're a spaceman.
A Death Guard enjoyer. It looks like we have ourselves a Death Guard enjoyer.
Let's kick his ass. Leave him broke.
But speaking of Death Guard, Dan, what are you working on for next year?
Is it Death Guard? Yes.
Death Guard.
Yes.
That is exactly what I'm working on.
Let's put oil paints on them and make them dirty.
Maybe by the 8th or 9th episode, you guys will see me build the 20th one. Because I work like molasses.
It's true.
You know what it is? I can't talk and work.
I know that.
I know, right? And
I
got a problem
You
with
spend
talking.
time in my house and you can't talk and work.
It's true.
That's why we sit in silence for like 30-minute increments.
Play some good music. Yeah. Doom, doom, cats and boots and cats and boots. Anyway, so I do it in reverse. It's a remix.
Boots and cats and boots.
Cats and boots. Yeah, so I'm working on Death Guard for next year. My other big life goal is that by at least half point of next year, that the rest of my DA are finally at least base coated. Because if you think I build slow, you should see me paint.
You paint?
No, that's a trick question. I've put lines on things before.
I dry brush effectively.
And you know, I want to do the Death Guard actually, hilariously enough, Manji, probably for the exact opposite reason that you wouldn't like the antithesis. They're bland, so they're easy to build. You don't have to do anything more than tack squads to really get them off the ground. If you want a couple of crazy Terminators, you can. Otherwise, the only thing you're really hunting for is a power scythe for your sergeants. And then their lore is too good for me. For me, their lore is good. We come from a shit planet. We got the shit end of a stick. Let's go make shitty deals. Like, that's just their lore. Like, it's pretty funny to me. It's kind of, I guess when you're from Houston, you're really into that whole barbarous aesthetic.
Swampy.
Unlivable. Hellacious conditions. Everything's out to kill you. And not to mention, the other reason I want to do the Death Guard is because Ryan has said he'll like flash paint them in a weekend. So, you know.
A weekend seems optimistic, but I'll definitely help.
Your words. Your words
500 points.
Your words were a weekend project.
I think they'll go very quickly until the rubber meets the road, and then I'll probably give up on you. I'm sorry.
Yes, I've
the best of friends.
That familiar feeling. Anyway, my goals for next year are to get a second army built, get both armies painted, and damn it, play some. Like I've probably played 5 games since the new rules came out, tops.
Yeah, I definitely want to get more playtime in. It's one of my weaknesses, sleeping in on Saturdays and not making hobby days.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'll show up at your house late at night and you can just dunk on whatever army I bring with your custodes.
As is tradition.
And there is approaching the pudding.
Let's see. I guess that leaves me. My hobby resolution.
How many custodes are you painting in 2023?
As many as I build.
Well, as many as Dan builds. So my custodes army is very playable right now. It's probably sitting at like 8,000 or 9,000 points, and I'm adding to it for some reason.
Don't worry, guys. That's only 100 models.
Yeah, more or less. So that is where I'm at with custodes. I'm currently painting Heteran Guard and a bunch of Contemptors that I have had laying around. I think.
You need more chain bayonets?
Nah, I'm good.
I think my big.
I didn't use any in my first run.
My big resolution is going to be finishing my Warlord Titan.
Ooh, which one?
The one that's assembled.
Oh yeah, right.
Mostly
that
assembled.
One. That one, yeah.
So I think
you haven't conned me into building more for you.
Right, yeah. So I think that's going to be my big project. I would love to get a big Heresy game in again this coming year, so I could actually use said painted big ass model. If you're not from Texas, one of the traditions here is to go take pictures with your dogs and kids and family in the blue bonnets. So,
you're gonna do one with Warhammer Titans?
I'm gonna do it with my Warhammer Titans.
Oh man, you're gonna have to do that early spring, or otherwise they're gonna get real hot.
Is it just a Warlord, or are you gonna do the Maniple?
We'll see how I'm feeling after the Warlord. But considering that I'd like to get all the panels painted at the same time, I think I'm going to probably aim for a good chunk of the Maniple. Let's say 2-3 Titans done.
So what, for those that don't know, what does a full Maniple consist of?
So a full Maniple is... There's different kinds of Maniples, but traditionally it's 2 Warlords, 2 Reavers, and a Warhound or 2 Warhounds, right?
It's usually 5 Titans,
right?
And it's like
any combination therein, right?
Right. There is a 5 Warlord Maniple. Titanicus has
right.
all the cool Titan stuff. So
right. It actually depends on the Legio that you're painting.
Are you still planning on Legio Sinister to go along with all of your custodes?
See, they got rid of the Sinister rules, so I'm hesitant.
So you gotta wait for the PDF to come out before you pull out your PDF jank Titan army.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, right. Are we playing Horus Heresy or
Horus Heresy or not? And then, since they don't make the Sinister upgrades, like the helm and the halo and the gun, I guess I'd have to 3D print those or sculpt those.
Oh, yes, because you're, the Michelangelo of Titans.
No, I'll have to talk to Trish. our resident sculptor. So, yeah, I think that's going to be my big hobby project. As far as, stuff I can pack into a weekend of play, I'm definitely looking forward to finishing my Custodes and probably my Mechanicum. I have a Ordinatus that needs to find some space on a table.
To delete certain table sections.
To make a 5-inch wide beam of go to
beam
hell.
Of death, yeah.
Go to hell, yeah. It's a big old go to hell beam.
Sadness.
Yeah.
You take a large blast template, you place it at the barrel of the gun, and then you just draw a line to the end of the board.
It's 5 inches wide.
And anything that template touches is dead. Just is dead.
It doesn't have the range to send 5-inch death beams to the next table?
Basically, yes.
Yeah, what, in 128 inches?
I think it's 72, 96, something like that.
I had my hopes
up. It will reach across the board even if you have it diagonal.
Well, I mean, because we're talking to Ryan, the ultimate Titan go F yourself player. We're he likes to put a Titan on one table and shoot another table.
Ryan is the reason I have a knight household because I could not figure out a way to fight Ryan's knights that did not involve owning knights.
Yeah, that's the...
I like the fact that I am the arms race of the group.
You're the arms dealer, technically. But I mean, yeah. Would you like to buy a tank? You know what this army needs? More tanks.
Oh, I'm the worst person to talk to if you ever have questions about, hey, should I buy this? Yeah, buy 3. In fact, you can run 5 at a time. You should buy 5.
Ryan's approach to Warhammers. What's your credit limit?
My friendship comes with a credit report.
Yeah. Can I interest you in a refinance?
You know, on top of the stuff that we're already going to work on, obviously there's going to be new releases coming out next year.
Yes.
What's sort of like your top 2 or 3 things you're excited about to see?
Anything that's not Space Marines. Could be custodes, could be Mechanicum,
You know what?
Solar Auxilia,
I
more
hold,
assassins.
I hold your hope. I agree with you. Because for me, like, personally, my big wish is that we get affordable and plentiful super heavies. So
affordable and plentiful super heavies.
Well, like, okay, let's just throw because we don't know, but let's just throw blanks at the wall. So let's say the Spartan variants come out and they're like $120 kits. Okay.
Sure.
Right. Well, I think they'd probably be because that's the price of a Kratos, right?
I mean,
it's like $125.
Spartan right now is what, $108, something like that.
What, I don't know what the kit have they put out.
Yeah, they put out a
kit?
single Spartan kit.
Okay, yeah. So it's like $108. So let's assume that the upgrade is going to be 30, or they're going to like double upgrade. You get the Typhon or the Cerberus for $50 or something like that. So let's ballpark.
I would imagine it'll be like either a plastic upgrade sprue or a resin thing they'll sell on Forge World to be like
really, I think
you buy the
it's
Spartan
kit,
yeah, that's what I think. I think it's going to be a kit, and I think that you're going to have a super heavy kit. They're either going to do one of two things. You're either going to have a super heavy kit, and it's all 3 super heavies in one kit. Because for all intents and purposes, the only difference between a glaive and a falchion is the falchion or the fellblade. Which one comes with the autocannon? Fellblade's the autocannon. So the only difference between a glaive and a fellblade is the turret, or really the barrel of the turret. And then the falchion has that whole extra box.
The falchion is a different Baneblade variant. So,
but it's like the same base chassis. It just instead of having a turret, it has.
Yeah, it has like the stationary like box in the back.
So if anything, we'd probably see like a fellblade glaive kit, and then the falchion would be like a different kit, but it's the same chassis.
I don't know.
I could see Spartan kits, Fellblade, Falchion, like the Space Marine Super Heavy tanks. I would be surprised if they got a plastic kit.
Yeah, I don't see them getting it.
What about actually, another big wish I would have, because it would satiate many armies, Ryan, plastic drills. If they did plastic termites.
The termite drills that I can't use in half my crap in Mechanicum. Not bitter about it.
What? I thought they were made in Mars. The Mars was just loaded up on those things.
Everything's made in Mars. Everything.
For the Legions?
Yeah. This guitar, you can use them.
Oh, the army you haven't built for Mechanicum.
No, I got that too, but it's specifically the ones that go with the Titans.
Oh.
Yeah, everything.
The Titan
and
guard
I think
termites.
you can put the thralls in them too.
Well, that would be pretty. Now that I think about it, it would be really.
You can't put anything bulky in there. So
it would be really messed up to throw Thalax in a termite just to have them like erupt from the ground and then take off like a termite because they were actually like sprouted wings and a jetpack and moved 12 inches or whatever. Like,
yes, I'm fine with that.
That'd be terrible.
Completely okay with that.
Like displace all your units and then just auto flank with a 12-inch move over their heads.
For some reason, you think I'm sad about this.
No, I know you're not sad. I know you're just dreaming up vindictive ways for your army to just like be remembered. But yeah, anyway, all right. Yeah, so I don't know. My big wish is some sort of plastic, big honking, super heavy tanks would be cool.
Okay.
Some plastic, like just any plastic Lord of War. Like honestly, like if they just made a $250, $300 plastic Lord of War kit.
Yeah.
Like, that would be, I think, really cool because it would bring a lot of people that don't want to bite the bullet on resin
which is so much harder to build than the resin kits.
Oh, of course it would be harder to build. But you know what? That's for the unwashed masses to decide, right? Like, yeah. But, wash your resin, kids. Anyway, don't breathe it. God, don't breathe it. But no, like just
if you want more like hobbying tips, by the way, check out a video here.
Our previous video
somewhere. Yeah.
Over Dan's face. We have a previous video explaining how to deal with resin. It doesn't have a lot of examples, so maybe that's a hobby wish too.
There you go. Next year we wish to show you videos of handling resin.
Yeah, and not breathing it.
No, don't breathe it.
Don't breathe it.
Don't breathe it.
So
but yeah, plastic super
check out that
heavies.
video.
And I'm actually going to second yours, man. I would love to see more plastic kits that aren't just more Space Marines.
Oh, I think the things that will come eventually are Thalax, Castellax, and Thanatars because they can be used by Legios. So,
I mean, yeah, but I mean, Loyalist Legio can ally in any Mechanicum it wants, so long as it's Loyalist, right?
Well, yeah, but there's the
traders
HQs they can take that let them take automata.
Yeah.
Right.
Take the little,
The Cortex
the
controller.
Cortex controllers.
And Auxilia get those too, which is hilarious.
So really what you're telling me is that your deepest desire is that you get to field 8,000 points of Iron Warriors and Dark Mechanicum next year.
Yes.
And you get to you could have Vastor right there.
Are you gonna run your Iron Warrior list that's all pie plates?
Yeah, I mean, what's the fun in not running that?
God,
The throwback to Ironfire?
so much hate. There's just so much hate. Like this, we always like I don't know. I always feel like we bring up like people don't want to play 5,000 points games. Well, if you haven't had the joy of playing a 5,000 point game where everything is 8-inch pie plates just getting dropped ordnance non-line of sight to watch, like, hope you enjoyed setting up. That's about all the game you're going to play today.
I mean, we played I think it was about a 60,000 point game, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was a whole day.
Like that's for sure. Yeah, well, and honestly, like that's probably my biggest goal for next year is to get in on at least 2 giant, huge multiplayer.
Well, I think I'd also like to go to Adepticon or LVO. I think that's going to be, or one that's later in the year, whatever Horus Heresy event that GW is putting on. I think would be cool. Seeing that what they kind of put together in New Mexico was supposed to be amazing. They had character actors there that were like leading the.
I didn't even hear about this.
Yeah, they had character actors that were basically leading the legions and like having like dialogue and stuff.
And they would do like the mission briefings for like they were each in like rooms. So you'd have like different.
Is this Horus Heresy or Command and Conquer?
This was 40K.
At the same time.
This was a 40K crusade. I was reading the Goonhammer write-ups on this. Have been incredible. Like they had actors in costume, in character the whole weekend.
Right.
Like they encouraged cosplay. So
it was like Ren Fair for Horus Heresy.
I'm going to Grimdark Land.
Right. Exactly. I'm going to Grim Fair.
It is exactly nerdy enough that I was deeply crushed when I saw what it was that I missed out. Like deeply sad.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And I mean, I've heard the tables were gorgeous. Like the table, the people bringing the armies were amazing. They brought really, really well painted stuff. It was one of the requirements. I've heard all the missions were cool. They had a big overarching campaign for the weekend. Like it's supposed to be really neat.
Yeah.
So. We might have to think about like getting some tickets for next year. I hope they have a Heresy.
It was like $300 to play in it, but
whole lot's room and
at a resort
at a nice resort. So it's probably like $1,000.
Mortgage hammer away.
Yeah. Well, so you get models or events.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I think like I'm really looking forward to the black books. I really am
Are we going to
excited.
see those next year?
I'm assuming we're going to see
at
like,
least one.
Yeah, I'm
If not
assuming
two.
like 2 books a year is what they're going to do for Heresy.
Do you think they're really going to bust it down to like just 4 armies a book again, or are they going to actually?
I don't. I think the books are going to be themed more. If I had to guess, I'm going to guess book 1 is going to be like a Zone Mortalis book, and it's going to focus on like shipboarding action, space stations, like fights in Manufactorum and forges. They've got like the Dark Tide stuff they can tie it into for like.
Well, like so, I guess I mean.
And then we'll see stuff for every army that fits in Zone Mortalis. So here's your here's your plastic Space Marine breacher upgrade kit.
Right.
I guess what I'm trying to digest in my head is like, are they really gonna sit down and rehash essentially the flow of it? Like, are they gonna instead of like in V1 we had, here's Isfahan 3. Here are the armies that happen in Isfahan 3, or like the Drop Site Massacre.
I would be very surprised if they do it that way, because I think
you don't think it's going to be by like story or narrative event.
I think the exemplary battle stuff we've seen is like a maybe like a preview of what the Black Book format would be.
Yeah,
where it's like, here is a bunch of missions and units that were at those missions, and you can like do the missions and build the units and stuff. But everybody's going to get something.
Civil War on Mars.
So I would expect to see like
that's when the plastic Mechanicum sets come out.
Here's Zone Mortalis, and here's the Mechanicum Civil War and the like Iron Hands who were there on Mars fighting Mechanicum or whatever, right? And so here's your Mechanicum tunnel breacher unit, and here's your stuff for the Iron Warriors. Yeah. I would expect more something like that, where it can be like, here's a new thing to do, and here's some universal like applications and new stuff.
Well, and I guess right, because the biggest shift from V1 to V2, and everybody that was around for V1, it doesn't really affect them. But for anybody that's only getting in on V2, it's kind of huge, which is the layout of the books and the way the rules are presented. Like in V1, it was like the narrative guy's dream, right? Every book was literally just 300 pages of narrative that they managed to somehow fit army rules into.
Units and story.
And we really haven't seen the Heresy 2.0
right. We've really seen indexes come
out.
I'm hopeful for like, I don't want crusade rules in Heresy. I don't want like, here's a generic like one size fits all narrative, but I would like to see like, you want to do Istvan gaming. Here is missions and scenarios and stuff to do that is Istvan. Here is stuff to do that's Beta Garmin. Right. Here is stuff to do that's the Siege of Terra. To like add flavor and add like feeling in those fights for those. Speaking of Space Marine stuff, I want to be getting a lot of Space Marine stuff. I'm hopeful for plastic breachers.
Okay. I mean, that's a big one.
Like, I'll give you plastic breachers. And despoiler assault.
Despoiler and assaults, I think, would also be...
Jet bikes need to be out there.
Those will never be plastic.
I think they will. I think they'll come in a box of 3, and I think they'll be like $80.
Let me be provocative. Plastic regular bikes. Because the plastic ones we have now are older than the resin ones.
See, that I think they won't... I don't know. I guess they could put it in a black box called Horus Heresy. But, they're called Outriders, and they have 40K Outriders.
They're Primaris Outriders. It's very different.
I understand, but I'm just saying, like...
Mechanicum Start Collecting Box.
Oh my god, would you...
No, too much? Okay, I'll stop.
But yeah, I would love to see like some more upgrade kits for the Mark 6 Marines to let them be those units that are in the book that they can't be right now.
Yeah, I want to see an upgrade kit for the custodes. Where you get...
The Sagittarum,
you get the fist for the...
the Solarite Gauntlet.
The Solarite Power Fist, you get Meridian Blades, you get Paragon Blades, and the Glaive form. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of cool weapons they have that you can't necessarily not just kit bash at this point. Mm-hmm. Hence my falchions from the Grey Knights.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would like to see some more of the upgrade kits for the Mark 6 Marines, and I think seeing the Sakarans, all the Sakaran variants get some support.
I think there's going to be an upgrade kit that comes with like 5 of them.
I think there's a few ways they could do it. They could just sell the hulls on Forge World, or sell the turrets, because that's all that shifts for several of them. Yeah. And then maybe it's like an upgrade kit for the Venator, which does change the hull of the tank.
The whole thing, yeah.
So I would expect maybe something more like that.
I'm expecting the Venator to come out in a whole plastic kit by itself. And then maybe some kind of upgrade kit that addresses just like, the different turrets.
I definitely want to see him continue with this upgrade kit path. I really like it.
Yeah.
I like that it makes it very modular. You don't buy unnecessary things.
Right.
Well, you do. How many heavy weapons are you getting in that heavy weapons box?
How many Volkite Culverins are you really
How many Age of Darkness boxes are you buying to support those heavy weapon kits, though?
Enough.
Cheat Up said more. Yes. No, I mean, like, the upgrade kits are cool. I'd love to... it's the thing is like, when you have a kit that's got a structural change, you can't do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the whole theory that there's going to be a plastic Typhon soon. Like, that is not a huge difference from a Spartan, but structurally speaking, it's enough of a difference from a Spartan that what's already in that box isn't going to work. Like, you don't put the nose, you don't put the gate.
It's another sprue is what it is.
It's a whole new front end. Yeah. But, like, that whole front end is kind of integral in how you build the Spartan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now. So it's going to have to be, like, same tank, different middle section. Like
I could see
the outsides are going to be the same, the sponsons are going to be the same, but that middle section, while the butt is going to be the same, but the front end is entirely different.
I think a Cerberus and a Typhon will come in the same sprue. It's it's small enough.
That's a lot of gun to put on a sprue. That's why I'm just really curious how they're going to do it. Like Cerberus is a
Thankfully,
lot
I'm
of
not
barrel.
GW, so I have to make those.
Thankfully,
hard
you're not
decisions.
thankfully you're not a Legio collector, and you don't have to worry about it.
I don't have to give a crap about any of those.
One other thing I would actually love to see, if anyone from GW is listening or caring about anything things we're talking about.
One of our 7
One of
viewers.
our 7 viewers.
Please be GW guy.
If you've ever seen it, the classic Space Marine Commander sprue.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like the plastic kit, but it was like every weapon option a 3rd edition captain could take.
Yep.
I would love to
Captain
see
on a frame. Yeah.
I would love to see something like that come back for Heresy, because you've got so many consular options,
Right.
You've got so many loadout options, and I love the Praetors and stuff. They're very kit bashable, but like I will run out of sprues, like making characters for all the
Oh
legions
yeah,
that I do.
all
Like,
the consoles. You know, I think they definitely need something for like apothecaries. They need something for
Plastic
consoles.
Primus Medicae.
Yeah. I guess you can get 2 of them out of there, maybe.
I guess you guys do want some plastic Space Marine stuff.
Oh well. I mean,
I don't. I hate apothecaries.
I just don't want the Primus Medicae.
What about
to
the
be,
Sisters of Silence Apothecary?
That's different. I would love like 3 of those.
Yeah, I just don't want the Primus Medicae to have to be an eBay go hunt it down because we only made the model for Games Day 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is definitely a situation where I think there's a big opportunity to have
Again,
a cool upgrade kit and provide even more utility for a bunch of the models already have.
If they put it in the book and it doesn't have a name plate on it, or arguably it's not a super heavy Thunderhawk, Mastodon, the super heavy tanks, something like that, I guarantee it's going to be plastic. I just don't know, right? Like you,
I don't think we're gonna get like a plastic Storm Eagle. I wouldn't.
Right? Yeah, like
We're never
not,
getting that.
Not Storm Eagle.
The
Storm
Fire
Eagle.
Raptor.
No, those are actually reasonable because those are built off of the. They're built out of the Storm Raven.
yeah.
kit,
I mean,
so
the
it is possible.
actual resin bits there aren't that bad.
I
Like,
could
it's just
see
the
those
sides
being turned
and-
into plastic, but like the Thunderhawk, the Sokar Stormbird, like there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
It is more likely we get the Primaris Overlord gunship before we see any of those in plastic.
Yeah, I'm not.
Well, because the Atreus is such a heavy seller. What's that super heavy? The Atreus?
Yeah.
hey man,
the
you know
Atreus.
what 10th edition's gonna bring?
I've got it.
I know you have it. I've seen it on the table.
It's all right.
It's not a bad tank. It's
it
just
is
not
a
a.
bad tank.
It's not a heavy seller.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Seller. Seller off.
Hey folks, have a great holiday season. Enjoy time with the family. Enjoy time with friends. Hopefully you get some time to paint and play over your holiday break. And we hope to see you on some Heresy tables next year.
Also,
absolutely.
coming in December, I believe Bowles is opening up their Discord channel, so we'll probably be somewhat active in there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
Convince our overlords here at Bowles to
Sure, you can
open
come.
up a Heresy channel.
I will
So,
type away all the nonsense anybody wants to ask
yeah,
me.
all of your concerns, comments, critiques. Do you like the hat? Do you hate
Leave
the
them
hat?
in the comments.
Leave them in the comments.
You love the hat.
Bring it to the Discord. We'll be active in there as much as possible. And for these 7 of you watching, happy holidays. I'm Ryan.
I'm Manji.
I'm Dan.
Thanks for checking us out. And that's going to do it for the Bulls
year.
Basement. Yeah, for the year.
For the year.
So, see you in 2023.
Happy New Year, guys.